is one of our newer clients. He has a residential practice. He's an investor and he does commercial work. He specifically hired us for his residential practice. And so what I would love, Bob, if you could just talk about what it was like working for us, with us, not for us, with us. Why did you even start working with us, and what's been your experience like? And I'll stop talking.
Yeah. So I wear a lot of hats in the real estate industry, but I'm a broker, some residential. I do a lot of hard money lending and kind of residential investment work with some clients, fix and flip, ground up construction, that sort of stuff. Also do a lot of commercial syndication work. And we have a property management company. So I wear a bunch of different hats in the real estate industry. And we've been trying unsuccessfully, every time I feel like we're getting better, but trying like unsuccessfully to implement, processes and VAs in our company. I think I've burnt through, probably like 4 or 5 VAs over the past 3 years, just trying to get them implemented. And every time, I started out not having any systems, thinking I did, and then putting a VA in and being like, all right, come help. And, oh, you have some experience, you have real estate experience. Like I just plug into my business and do stuff. And that just fell flat. And I realized I didn't really give them any direction that they actually needed to a level of specificity that would work. And so then, honestly, like I screwed that relationship up, but I felt like I had irreparably screwed it up. So went and fired that VA, who was a great person, to hire a new one to start it over. I had built out a few more processes at that time, but I realized that I hadn't really built those processes out. If you look at, kind of what we did over the past couple of days here, you look at like, what's the very macro view of this process? It's like, what is it's like find a client, find a house, close the deal, get paid, right? Like that's kind of where I was in my process docs on the first one. And then on the second one, I was a little more detailed, and it was like, all right, well, you're going to do a few more of these steps, but there wasn't really anything built out. And so I started building out like little processes. All right, here's a checklist to do this. And it was helpful, but then balls would get dropped on, steps 2 through 6. So I ended up kept firing these VAs because of my incompetence. And I've worked with Chase on a few different things. I hired WorkSource in to kind of come consult for my company and build these processes out. And it was just night and day, right? Like if you look at what we just did with that, kind of lead to contract stuff, you've got like basically every one of those, processes, those like sub ones that we just talked about, what could be outsourced, what could be not. If you actually think about what goes on, that's kind of where I was, right? As I had built out all of these, and I had a little process handbook and stuff that I had made. And I said, oh yeah, do this, hit the lender up. But like my VA didn't know how to hit the lender up. They didn't know what that meant. And so like, working with Chase, we actually created like an email template, right? That they just copy and paste in every time. Or here's the checklist, follow these 80 items. And then this step is complete. Move on to next step. And so, where I had taken 3 years and burned through 4 VAs to try to figure this out, I was able to hire in WorkSource, and it was really able to kind of help plug all those different gaps. And, looking back on it, it's kind of like what I say, I started a property management company to go and run some of the properties that we own and we invest in. I should have bought a freaking property management company because it took so long to build our processes out. Same thing with this. Like I spent so long trying to do it myself when I should have just hired them to kind of give me this business in a box and say, all right, here's your whole system, soup to nuts. You don't need to go through all this 3 years of headache and burning through, 6 people. Like it's right here. So it's been super helpful.